This is just AMZN for Friday, February 14th, 2020. Take a look at the triangle that I drew in, and it's definitely compressing here pre-market Friday. Let me get rid of a couple of these just because it's just getting a little harder to see the triangle that we're focusing on right now. And okay, so, oh, no, sorry, I need that one. Okay, and I have drawn another one here. All right, so this line and this line and this line here are really forming a triangle. They're really compressing. And as we get into the open here, I'm going to zoom in on just 2 days here. And stepping into the day, we have a really nice hammer, really strong hammer bouncing off of the bottom edge of this triangle. It looks really similar to this hammer. Actually, the next candle, this candle looks very similar to this candle from pre-market. A little bit of higher low. Let's see, I think the highs are 8 cents apart. Okay, so really similar candles. We want to see this break bullish and push up here and then keep on going, right? And we get an upper wick. Now this is another hammer, it's inverted hammer, and this just trapped a bunch of bulls getting in bullish above those highs, and it sold back down. It's like, okay, it's still within the triangle, we're good. High wave candle, starting to break down. Now we're still holding the low. So essentially we've pretty much been flat here, and we have a false break bullish here. We really need to see this stay inside. So the next candle, let's look for a bullish candle. Let's look for this to bounce off of 2150 here. Nice round number, and just keep moving back up, right? That's what we're looking for. Okay, get a slightly lower low, get a hammer that's just below our channel here. And let me zoom in on just the day here. All right. A really nice hammer, really great location. Again, this is another candle we really want to see bounce. Turn this into a Morningstar reversal, get going bullish. So far, we've had a lot of wicks, a lot of selling, a lot of buying, a lot of buying, a lot of selling. Even this has a lot of long lower wick, decent volume, and it still made a lower low on the day. Let's go another candle and see what's going on. Okay, inverted hammer. This did have some buying, push way up here, makes a really nice Morningstar reversal, but then the candle closes down. Candle closes below this uptrend channel and triangle. It's a second close now below this line for the triangle. So we had the first one here, second one here. This one in between was just a hair above there. Okay, here we go. Here's a nice solid break down. It's going down. It's obviously not staying in this channel. We want it to get back up there, but it is breaking down. So already right here, it already had some signals that there was some more selling coming in. This is a clear breakdown of the opening price of this bullish candle looking to bounce. And now it's just a matter of where could you get in bullish? I'm sorry, where could you get in bearish? It continues to move down. Okay, have some bullishness coming back in. Let's see if this can push back up to the red line and get back into a nice solid rollover from up here, come right back into like this hammer, which technically this candle does come back into the hammer, comes right back into 2150. So right here could be actually a good place to get in bearish with a stop probably up here. So around a $4 stop if you're getting in bearish right here. Keep moving, high wave candle, starts to break down. Okay, you may have missed your chance if you didn't get in. This is a nice hammer, inside can't, let's see, these two highs. Yep, this is an inside candle. And starts to break bullish. Okay, I like that. This looks like a double bottom. Let's see if it can push back up into the red line, and then we get a nice roller from there. This is slightly higher highs, higher lows, small candle. Okay, we got a nice bigger move. We're almost back into 2150, but this doesn't really look like a double bottom anymore. This starts to look like we've got some higher lows and kind of relative highs through here, or at least a little bit of a stair step, where you can see this as a triangle where this is actually breaking bullish, which is fine. We're just coming right back into the opening low. So we broke down through it. We came back up into it. We're coming back up into it again. So 2150 seems to be a really nice round number. If you look at yesterday, we got a hammer bouncing off of there. We held pretty well. Excuse me, with these candles. Started to push through a little bit here and then push through right at the close. And then today we pushed through similarly with a hammer, recovered, but then we actually broke down and we're back down into kind of the range that we were earlier in the day yesterday or Thursday, where we made this bigger double top. Well, right now we're right back into that range, but it's looking a little more bearish. It looks like this 2150 price is actually holding now as old support, now new resistance. And so once again, you have an opportunity to go bearish right here, this same price right here, and a stop up here. And I wouldn't really put your stop any closer. I mean, you could technically be here, but it really could easily push up a little higher, get right into this line, and then roll back down. So let's see what happens. Okay, slightly lower high, lower low, bullish engulfing candle, another place to get in bearish at 2150. So, we had the first signals that this could be going lower, really right back at 855. And then at 905, it broke down. And then we came back into 2150 at 920, 925, 1005, 1015. So we've had nearly an hour and a half after this first signal that we're getting lower, and it's not going more bullish. We've really had a solid hour. This whole time, where you could have been actually even this whole time, it's like, okay, I'll get in, I'll set it up, I'll wait. You can set up the trade and wait for it. And if it didn't fill here, maybe it'll fill here or here. But in this case, you didn't have to be fast at this. And it's making really nice higher lows, really nice relative highs, and it's just a waiting game. And this is a inside candle, and you can already see the moving average is starting to go down a bit, and it starts to break down. It actually breaks down with a really nice gap right here. And this is a great place that if you're not already in, because of this gap, you can either get in on this candle, you can wait for another retracement and get in on that candle. Again, you didn't really have to be in a hurry because you had it over an hour to be planning a bearish trade here. Have a little bit of retracement here. This was a good place to get in bearish. Now again, you've changed your setup. Now you're in bearish here and a stop maybe here instead. Or if your stop was up here, you've moved it down here. You've clearly broken the lower lows. I'm sorry, higher lows. And this is now making a lower low from here. And it's retraced into those lows. And it's going to continue lower. This is taking out a bullish candle, continuing lower. This is nearly a Marbozu. Let's see. Yeah, pretty close. Open higher, pretty close. Low and close are pretty close. And it's just pushing lower. High wave candle inside this. Look at this. Two more inside candles. If you're not in this, you could set this up as a really nice trade to get in bearish below and a stop right above it. It's just retesting the previous low on the day right through here. It's just retesting that a couple of times and starts to break down and goes. All right, here we are now at our next line down here and our next horizontal line at 2133.74, which is the price that we made an all-time high after earnings. So now we've pushed right down into that. This is a great place to take profits. Either take all of them or take some of them and be ready for a retracement, because this has been moving very aggressively down ever since this gap right here. A lot of high wave candles, people making not clear for some indecision for 15 minutes that starts to break down. This is still a really nice stair step of 20 minutes that you had opportunities to get in or add to your position or tighten your stop or something to move your setup, even to take less, to take more risk off, reduce your risk on the position, and just moves right on down into this level. It's not done, keeps pushing down, get a nice hammer here, and it starts to retrace. And then going into holiday weekend, it really just went chop sideways the rest of the day here. Didn't really get going directionally at all. I thought there would be more buying. I thought we'd get at least back into this line. Didn't even do that. We had about 30 minutes of buying in here, but that was it. It really couldn't get it going and keep it higher. I mean, we made higher lows the rest of this time. We made a slightly higher high here than here. I think all of this is just a really big stair step and a rest after this breakdown here. And so looking at the daily, we came right into the 5 and we're resting. And we'll see on Tuesday. So Monday is a holiday. We'll see on Tuesday if we can have any sort of gap down, gap up, and go higher, because this is a really nice retracement. This is a really nice rest of these 4 candles just kind of coming right back into this high. And if it doesn't go higher, I think it has a more that it could pull back down into probably the previous all-time high, 2050.50. I think it really could pull back that, what is it, 80 something bucks, 80 something points to get back into this level and meet up with the 21 over the next few days next week. I think that's the potential that it keeps coming back down there. But right now, this looks like a really nice flag. It looks like a really great place to bounce, and we'll just have to wait and see if it does. Now, again, back in here on the 5-minute, there were some places that you could be looking to go bullish. You could be buying bullish off of some of these candles. The hammer here, the hammer down here, the high wave candle breaking bullish. That was about it, really, for the bullish candles. Somebody trying to go bullish up here, taking the breakout bullish above these 2 candles. That's still a great setup, and sometimes it would work great. It just didn't today, And you'd know right away when it puts in this high wave candle and doesn't get back up above that level, either on this candle or the next candle. And then this is either you've tightened up your stop a little bit after the high wave and you're stopped out here, or you're definitely stopped out here for probably most of your R loss, which is fine. That's the setup that you're going bullish right here. It just didn't work. So if we look at some of the places to be bullish, calls just didn't. This is the 2150 calls. They just didn't really work out too well. You got a hammer here that moved up. You could have scalped maybe an R. But the range in this candle was more than an R. It was more than $100. If you waited till it was going sideways in the end of the day, it really just didn't get coming at all. So calls don't look good. You can tell here we had a nice base, and then we broke down and then retested. This is a great place to be looking bearish. If you're looking at calls and be like, oh, that it's still just holding. Look at this level it's holding. Flip over to the puts and see what's going on here. So let's look at the 1035 candle. What happened there? 1035 was right here. So this is the candle I said this is just a retracement of this breakdown. So 1035 on the puts, this is the 2150 puts. At 1035 was right here. So put in this low. It actually gave you a nice setup to get in pretty close to 7. 7 by 6 would have been really tough with the 2150. As it was putting in this level around 10 o'clock, 10 to 10:20, getting in here 6 by 5 was probably the best setup. And that was right through here. The 21 is the resistance. It's just holding this as a stair step. It actually does start to break down. It has a gap down here from this close in this candle to this open here. It's a really nice gap down. It's similar to this candle to this candle. It just continued bearish. This one faded back up right into the 21 inside candle, and then high and high. Yeah, inside candle here and then gap down, whereas this one gap down and faded. This one gap down and continued. So if we go out a little further with puts, let's look at, I think 2125 is going to be too far. Okay, it still worked. The 2125 right around 1030, 1035. You're right at 50 cents. And actually held that nicely. So you could have gotten into 2 of these and then just rode that as far as it went, or excuse me, get out on this candle right around 350 as it's moving into this line. Wait, this was 1110. So 1110. Oh, 1110 was this candle. Okay, so that would have been a move from 50 up to 2 right here. So yeah, you would have had to been holding further. So let's move a little closer and see what's going on. This is a nice one if you want to do an absolute zero and really not worry about it. Risk half an R, risk an R. 2130 still doesn't move too much. 2140. Okay, let's see what's going on in 2140. So this is $10 further out of the money. We've got 1035 right here. We pull back into the 3x2 price. We put in a nice base down here on 150, between 150 and 2. I really like the stair step here. This was those inside candles. So this would have been buying around 350 by 250. Yeah, probably buying 350 by 250 or 4 by 3. And then that just skyrocketed. That actually moved. Wow, from 4, that moved up to 16. That went 4 times its amount. So easily could have gotten more than a double going from 4 up to 8 or even 9. If you're exiting right at that 21.33.74 price on the stock. On the option, yeah, going from 4 up to 9 is a nice 5-hour move in just a matter of, 15 minutes here, something like that. Had you been really looking to get in earlier, looking to get in at any sort of retracement, probably having an entry like 250 by 150. I don't know if 250 would have filled based on where this candle is. The low is 245. I don't know if that would have been a fill on a purchase. It was probably a 245 sell, and then you got some spread in there. So just my guess for this value. So still just a lot of opportunities with some small risk here that just moved really nicely. You even had some candles like this. Let's see, at 1140. So 1140 was right here. A high wave candle sitting right above 2150, and then ultimately breaks back down. This on the puts was a little bit larger. This was 118 on the range. Still had a really nice move back up. But if we go back out like to the 2125 and look at that same time, maybe a different option would have worked better there. Yeah, so you had some nice tighter ranges on this. 1140, the range was 19 bucks. So you could have gotten a few of them. Or right here, 2 by 1, and you get in at 2, stop down at 1, and flip it out at 3 for a scalp, or didn't quite. Oh, it did make it up to 4. Possible to get 2R on that one. 2130. I'm just trying to look at places where it came back into a really nice price. So this is the 2130. 3 by 2 would have been a really nice place to be getting in bearish on a retracement. So you missed all this. You're waiting. Okay, it comes back a good ways into, it's holding above. Actually, it held that really well. The high here is 225 and 230, 240, 230. Held that really well. That hold resistance is new support here. So 3 by 2, and then that would have been able to flip out at 5, even 6 for a nice quick couple of R, 2, 3R, something like that. And then it just chopped. So, it went sideways here for a while. You're out of the money quite a bit. So, it's giving up that premium. And then we really did go sideways, for all of this on the stock. But there was some channeling there. And the channeling actually gave you a lot more volatility, put some premium back into these options. And so this was still good for options. It just wasn't the directional move that we really got a hand. We were able to track well here. And you had some opportunities to get into going bearish here as this rolled over. We did come back into the 21, and it did not immediately roll over. It pushed past a little bit. Still held these highs, broke down. This was probably some more bears getting in, and it just didn't work. It was making these higher lows again here and relative highs, and it's similar. This setup is similar to this one. Really, this setup, it just didn't really do it with the same sort of strength and gap. Definitely didn't gap into it. Like, from this smaller candle to this one was a gap up that faded. Similarly, this small candle gapped down and continued. Like I said, was opposite of these two candles, where this was a smaller bearish candle that gapped down and then faded back up. So just a different setup here that just didn't work. And I think it mainly is because we were right at one of our pivots. And so we're hanging out here. Yeah, it's fine that we push past and channel through here. We just really straddled this price for a while, for hours, and going sideways here. So, you gotta just scalp these when they're hanging out at a level like this. Just scalp directionally. But as it's getting to that level, it makes sense to go in, obviously directionally, and look for a few more than 1 or 2 R potentially. 2R was still, a good setup, good trade. There were some of those too. So yeah, on the daily, we're way up here. We'll see what kind of move we have coming up this coming week. And then on the 5-minute, had some opportunities going mainly bearish. Bullish just didn't really work. So hope this helps. This is Just AMZN. Thanks.